Lately, I've been looking for a new car, and there is a couple that I really want to buy, but after talking to some owners and looking through forums, there are some problems I can't overlook. So today I'm sharing 5 cars that I wouldn't buy, unless I get a good price. The BMW E46 is undeniably one of the best looking cars BMW has ever made. It's got the perfect blend of early 2000s styling. It's sporty, refined and with just the right amount of aggression. Its rear-wheel drive handles beautifully and the inline 6 sound like a dream. Honestly, if you're after a BMW experience, the E46 has everything you'd want. The inline 6 engines are generally reliable, but everything around them are garbage. The E46 is plagued by issues like oil leaks, cooling system failures and random electrical gremlins. They have problems with cracks in rear subframe that can lead to catastrophic failure if not addressed. And with age, many owners find themselves laying under a car for various issues, which can quickly add up. If you're considering one, be prepared for a love-hate relationship. It's a great car when it works, but the maintenance can turn into a full-time job. But don't be surprised if I get one. Actually, if you own one, I'm really interested to hear if you had problems, so share your view in the comments. Next on the list is the Mazda RX-8. It's a really cool car, or at least it is in concept. The design might divide people, but let's face it, it's a rear-wheel drive sports coupe from Mazda, and they know a thing or two about making fun cars. Personally, I think the suicide doors are awesome, and then there's the engine, a Rotary. It's something you won't see in any other car. But there's probably a reason for that. It's notorious for reliability issues. And the RX-8 was bad even for a Rotary. It's particularly vulnerable to problems with the apex seals, which are the Rotary's equivalent of piston rings. These seals wear out, often way too soon, and then that's when things go south. When they fail, they can start flying around inside the engine, so you're looking at an engine rebuild or replacement. And there's not really any easy way around it. It's a costly and complicated job that not every mechanic can handle. And even if you avoid catastrophic engine failure, the RX-8 has a reputation for poor fuel economy, especially when you consider the power you're getting. The small rotor engine has to work hard to get the performance most people expect from a sports car, which burns a surprising amount of fuel. And let's not forget the oil consumption. By design, rotor engines burn oil as a part of their operation, so keeping an eye on levels is a must. If you're not prepared for extra maintenance or potential costs of a rebuild, the RX-8 might end up feeling more like a burden than a thrill. With all that said, there's still something undeniably cool about this car. The RX-8 can be a blast to drive and it has a unique character you won't get in many other cars. But if you're considering one, go in with your eyes open. The fun factor is real, but it's easily overshadowed by the risk of expensive repairs. For anyone not ready to gamble with the RX-8's quirks, it might be better admired from a distance. Let's talk about the Jaguar X-Type. Now, I get this car has a certain appeal. It's got that classic Jaguar look, a bit of British elegance, and at one point it was actually one of the most affordable ways to own a luxury brand. But that's where the good news ends. The X-Type was Jaguar's attempt to make a compact executive, think 3 Series or the like. To cut costs, they built it on a Ford Mondeo platform, which already raised some eyebrows. Now, the Mondeo is a fine car, but when Jaguar tried to repackage it as a luxury sedan with the X-Type, things didn't quite pan out. Ask anyone who's owned an X-Type and you'll likely hear that it's shit. Let's start with the all-wheel drive system, which often fails and is a huge repair expense. And then there's the transmission, which is also known for throwing in the towel way too early. As for the interior, it's a Jaguar, so you might expect a high-end feel, but the cheaper materials wear out quickly. And most of them came with a wood paneling that all the 2000 era cars had, which personally I'm not a big fan of. And it's a British car, so everything from the electronics to the suspension just seem to have issues that pile up. If I were to buy an X-Type, I'd go for one of the later production years, 2007 to 2009. By then, they'd ironed out some of the problems that plagued earlier models. A general rule with buying any car is go for the later models in a generation. They tend to have less issues. I'd look for an all-wheel drive version that uses the viscous-based transfer case instead of clutches. The viscous system is generally more reliable and it holds up better over time. But still, parts for the X-Type aren't cheap. While you might find a tempting price on a used one, keeping it running could easily turn into a money pit. If you want a Jaguar, maybe try one of the more reliable models, or maybe consider another brand if you're worried about repair cost. The X-Type might look like a luxury deal, but in reality, it's just an expensive lesson in buyer's remorse. Next up, we got the Subaru Impreza, the affordable little sibling to the VRX that still carries that classic Subaru appeal. It has the same rugged styling and some of the rally DNA that makes the VRX so popular, but it's a bit more realistic for those of us looking for a sporty daily driver without the VRX price tag. Plus, it has Subaru's reliable all-wheel drive system, making it super practical in bad weather or rough road conditions. But even with all its charm, the Impreza isn't without issues. While the non-turbo engines avoid some of the VRX's infamous turbo-related problems, the naturally aspirated Subaru engines from this era still has a reputation for being a bit delicate. One of the big issues? Head gaskets. Subaru engines from this period are notorious for blown head gaskets, which can be a pricey fix. And while it might not have the VRX's power, that doesn't mean the previous owner didn't pretend it did. So be prepared to check for signs of abuse if you're considering one. And if you need any more proof, Donut Media went through multiple engines on their Subaru series, dealing with a lot of the same issues you run into with these engines. So it's not just hearsay, it's a real problem for a lot of owners. If you're willing to deal with occasional repair, the Impreza can still be a fun, capable and unique car, especially if you want a winter-friendly vehicle that stands out. Just go into it knowing that the low price tag might come with some hidden costs over time. On to the last one, Audi A2. Just look at it. No, but for real, I couldn't come up with a fifth, so comment the most unreliable car you've owned. But honestly, I might pick up any of these if I found a good price. Oh yeah, subscribe to that.